Hello folks! Well, coming from the eastern part of the United States to basically where we are now, the heart of the Midwest, I can really notice now that it's getting quite flat. Everything is just farmland and farmland and farmland as we go through these highways and interstates. And now where we are, continuing our journey in Illinois, we are truly in the middle of nowhere. This is probably the center of Illinois. Forget about Chicago. We're exploring the more deserved parts to be explored. But in the middle of nowhere, there lies a somewhere. Where we are now is known as Bloomington, Illinois. This is right by Peoria, about 30 minutes away, but it has its own identity, its own personality, and today we are going to explore all about Bloomington. Where we start this journey today is Miller Park. Now here in Bloomington, this is where the residents of the area come to have their recreational days. There's a baseball field here, classic American sport. There's even a little mini water park. There's a lake that we're gonna see. But yeah, this is the perfect place to really introduce you to the city of Bloomington, Illinois. So first off, as the pioneers were going west, they couldn't help but notice the great land area around it and how well it could be for farming. As farming developed in this area, first a village, but then later a town and a city sprung up, which we now call Bloomington. And this town provided the general central Illinois area with a lot of commerce and business. In fact, not yet president, but soon to be President Lincoln, before he came into politics, was a lawyer, and he did a lot of business in Bloomington, Illinois. Bloomington also holds the prized distinction of being one of the very first spots of the famous Route 66. You know, get your kicks on Route 66, that song. This major highway went from Chicago all the way through the western part of the country to Los Angeles. After being in Chicago and driving through Route 66 for a bit, you'll end up here in Bloomington. Another fun quirk about this place is that Bloomington is one of two twin cities in this area. There's Bloomington, Illinois, and then there's a city called Normal, Illinois. Now, who would name a city Normal? I don't know, but that is just the name of that place. Well, now that you've all been given some sort of introduction about this place, let's actually explore and cover this place. We are the Coverage Project. Let's cover Bloomington, Illinois. A gem of a city, you'll see why. Other than Lincoln, there is one historical figure that does have significance to the city of Bloomington, Illinois. David Davis, now that's a fun name, was a Supreme Court justice appointed by President Lincoln, and then a senator of Illinois in the latter half of the 1800s. And he spent a lot of his life in Bloomington, Illinois. So he is a very big deal. That is his mansion, in which he spent a good part of the latter of his life. Yeah, just take a look at that late 1800s Victorian style architecture. A lot of wealthy Americans used this Victorian style at the time because they thought it was a beautiful style, which it is. It's just not something you'd see being built in the modern day. You know, I find it so fun to just say, we are really in the Midwest, folks. There is hardly a gradient of elevation at all. It's just flat everywhere. So cool to think that just these towns spring up in the middle of the prairie, or just the middle of nowhere. And then in that developing city, in the middle of nowhere, pops up an elegant mansion. If you want to see more of the historical aspects of Bloomington? Well, we're about to go someplace that'll really pique the interests. So this is the McLean County Museum of History. We're going to be taught a history lesson. Just the general history about the area and how it developed and what it's like now and the significance behind the history. Can't wait, let's explore. So earlier in the video, I alluded to Bloomington, Illinois being a city oriented with business. And this was the main business, agriculture. There were hundreds, maybe thousands of farms in the area. And so you need some sort of business to manage the order of the agriculture and make a profit. Farming is not as simple as planting a seed and waiting for it to grow. You'd have to buy the equipment, the seeds, the fertilizer, probably a place to store the harvest. There was this whole business side to farming. And here in McLean County, Bloomington, Illinois, that's where the business is. The one crop that dominated the industry here in central Illinois, corn. So after the arrival of the railroads and industry here, all the jobs sort of changed. There was still a big farming industry, but anymore it was more about the railroads, whether you were working on the railroads or working in a factory. A lot of jobs were a lot more about the industries of manufacturing or transportation like the railroads. The first people to live here were obviously the Native Americans, most notably the Kickapoo tribe, inhabiting this area of central Illinois. But then pioneers came along from the east, and of course they settled here with very little creature comforts. They had to live the pioneer frontier life. Interesting thing is that because Illinois is just so flat, it provided a very easy means to plot and divide the land. One family could be offered a few square miles of land, and it would be easy to just graph it out, plot it out on a map so that everybody's happy with the allotted land that they're given. Wow, I love this exhibit. It's like what a farmhouse in rural Illinois would be like. Sitting here with Lincoln. It's a very hot day, obviously, and that was just awesome. Much more than I could ever expect of a museum of just one county's history. I would definitely recommend this if any of you come to the Bloomington area. Anyway, say goodbye to Lincoln. We gotta go to our final place. And while we're walking to our final location here in Bloomington, let's just admire how scenic, well, not scenic because it's an urban jungle, but the interesting architecture behind the streets of Bloomington's downtown. Wait a minute, we're actually on what was Route 66, Main Street of America. That is so cool. I'll take a regular steak burger with cheese. Yeah, I'll also take a Oreo mint shake. You already know the deal with the Coverage Project and food. Two things: we only get food from places that have sort of a relation to the local area. And two, we don't eat in conventional places. So, I've brought you all here to Steak and Shake, and we're sitting behind a dumpster. How fitting. Now, Steak and Shake is an American chain that is all over primarily the eastern part of the United States, but it's very concentrated in the Midwest. And in particular, the whole chain was founded right here in the Bloomington-Normal area. So, of course, we're gonna eat here. I got a little bit of the steak and a little bit of the shake. I got a little bit of their classic burger, the steak burger. Why is it called the steak burger? I got no clue. Do they put actual steak in it? I have no idea. Let's find out. So I asked for everything on the burger, so I got the full deal. Everything there. My mint shake is melting, so I gotta try this first. Oh, that's terrific. And here goes the burger. Overall, I'd say it's quality. First fast food, of course. A little better than McDonald's, but your standard pub burger is gonna top Steak and Shake out. It's good. Tasty, juicy burger and shake. But there you have it. This is Bloomington, Illinois, a fun city with experiences that should not be overlooked on your journey through the Midwest. We have one more destination in the Prairie State, Illinois. I'm excited for this next one, believe me. So standing in front of the Steak and Shake in Bloomington, Illinois, more travels to come. I will see you at the next location. Yeah, this thing really smells.